we are happy to be here today to show tribute to our troops, to our veterans, to our military retirees, to our police, firefighters, our sheriff departments, and to all the first responders all over this nation and around the world, our coalition forces, to let them know that we stand with them. Many of us have friends, neighbors, cousins, uncles, aunts, husbands, wives that are stationed all around the world protecting our freedoms. We wouldn't even be able to be here today without those people sacrificing and giving their time for us. And that's why we're here, to let them know that we care, that we support them. And I want to say once again, thank you for coming out. We know the weather has been a little dismal, but we're still here and we're showing tribute to those guys. We have them on radio around the world. A lot of them are listening in on shortwave and they're able to hear what's going on, and some will be responding back and letting us know how they feel that we support them. So we want to say thank you to all of our military veterans, our police officers, our state police, our sheriff department, our soldiers from Operation Tribute to Freedom, and our soldiers from the 1st 293rd here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And they're bringing out their military display for us today so that we can show them how much we appreciate what they do to keep us free. I want to give a special thanks to the Fort Wayne Patriots. It's a group that was formed by Rex Mercer here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and they have been very diligent in showing support for our soldiers. We got together about a year and a half ago, and we've done 2 events together, and they've stuck by our sides, and they're here today to show their solidarity, and we're here to stand by them because they love doing what they do, because they realize that freedom is not free. So once again, thank you everyone for coming out, and we're going to continue on with our program.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Rex Mercer here of the Fort Wayne Patriots.
My name is Rex Mercer, and I started the Fort Wayne Patriots back in 2005. My father was a Vietnam veteran, and when he came back from the war, he didn't have the local support that he should have gotten. And I figured it was time to make a change for things. Our generation can do better at that. And I have a poem here I wanted to read that explains things. I think my father would agree with this poem very well. I think it explains everything my father would have to say. The soldier stood and faced God, which must always come to pass. He hoped his shoes were shining, just as brightly as his brass. Step forward now, you soldier, how shall I deal with you? Have you always turned the other cheek? To my church have you been true? The soldier squared his shoulders and said, no, Lord, I guess I ain't, because those of us who carry guns can't always be a saint. I've had to work most Sundays, and at times my talk was tough, and sometimes I've been violent because the world is awfully rough. But I never took a penny that wasn't mine to keep, though I worked a lot of overtime when the bills just got too steep. And I never passed a cry for help, though at times I shook with fear, and sometimes, God forgive me, I wept unmanly tears. I know I don't deserve a place among the people here. They never wanted me around except to calm their fears. If you've a place for me, Lord, it needn't be so grand. I never expected or had too much, but if you don't, I'll understand. There was a silence all around the throne, where the saints had often trod, as the soldier waited quietly for the judgment of his God. Step forward now, you soldier, you've borne your burdens well. Walk peacefully on heaven's streets, you've done your time in hell. I think that poem explains a lot. As a good friend of mine says, Anthony, he always says, troops first, always, and last, no matter what. And if you'd like to join us, we have handouts over here. We rally twice a month, the first Saturday of the month across from the courthouse from 12 to 1 p.m., and the third Sunday of the month from 3 to 5 p.m. At the VA hospital. If you ever want to know the cost of freedom, all you have to do is go to the VA hospital. And one thing I do encourage you guys to do is to do anything you can to support the soldiers. Go up there, shake their hands. You may embarrass them, but they'll know that you appreciate them. Send them care packages. Do anything you can. Just don't do nothing. Do something. Thank you guys very much for coming out today.
Thank you so very, very much. You'll have to forgive me. It just takes me a minute to get adjusted. I am so very, very, very proud to be able to stand here in front of you on this very special occasion. Before I begin, I want you all to help me in welcoming my favorite guard unit in all of Indiana, the 1st and 293rd Infantry. Give it up! Night fighters! You know I'm proud of you. We've endured the rain, but we've seen a place where it rains 1 week in the year. Am I right? My name is Anthony Lewis. I'm a private citizen, a veteran of Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom. We served 1 year in Iraq. I came home and got out, but they're still at it. Right now, men and women overseas serving our country can hear your voice. So please tell them right now that you love them. You love it? Yeah. Thank you very much. Memorial Day, a day that we set aside to remember the sacrifice, often the ultimate sacrifice, of those who've helped make it possible for us to have this freedom and liberty that we enjoy. I want to talk about that word sacrifice. Something that has weighed heavily on my mind and on my spirit since I've gotten back, and it's been about 3 years now, is I think that the expression, thank you for your service, has lost some of its strength. It's become cliche, and people, I don't know if they don't mean it the same way as I believe they intend to mean it, but it's not the same anymore. I would much rather hear someone walk up to me and say, thank you for your sacrifice, because it is a sacrifice, and there is a difference between those two words. Thank you for your service empathizes, but thank you for your sacrifice sympathizes. It puts you in the picture. I've had people say to me, thank you for your service, and I can tell, even as they're saying it, that it doesn't cost them anything. But when you say thank you for your sacrifice, well, you have to know what sacrifice is before you can talk about it. I charge you, each and every last one of you that can hear my voice from now on, whenever you see a soldier, whenever you see someone in uniform who's serving a higher cause, think more about what it is you're saying and say to them from the heart, from a place that you can relate to, a place that you can sympathize with. Thank you for your sacrifice, because Memorial Day is about what? Sacrifice. I love my country, and I know that you love our troops. To say thank you for your sacrifice is an expression of love. Now, how many married men and women do we have here? Got a few? Is there anything that you wouldn't do for that person that you love? Not much. I can sympathize. You see the difference? There's a McDonald's down the street. You go through, you get a burger, and you say, thank you for your service. It's something different if you've ever worked at McDonald's. Then you can sympathize. If that person is giving you their meal, and you drive off without paying for it, they just made a sacrifice. You see the difference? Don't let this day, this very special day, pass where all you've done is say thank you for your service. When you think about what it is you give up to put on this uniform and go overseas, you can relate to how it's a sacrifice. You sacrifice your peace of mind. You risk your life. Is that something that you would want somebody to say thank you for your service for? Or thank you for your sacrifice? One final point, and I had a chance to tell this story to Rex. I love Rex. Leadership, ladies and gentlemen. I told you about this tonight. Mission, remembering the troops. Let's play teach you on OCS. Anyway, once a month, first Saturday of the month, we meet downtown 12 to 1, the Fort Wayne Patriots, and we meet right across the street from the anti-war protesters. Now, I don't have anything against the anti-war protesters per se, but I've seen them do something pretty hypocritical when I'm going to demonstrate. Somebody got a sign. We had it. Rex, let me do it. We stand across the street from the anti-war protesters downtown. Rex, I need you. And this was just first Saturday of this month, earlier this month. I'm holding a sign that says, remember the fallen. And one of the anti-war protesters comes across the street. Okay. So, remember the fallen, remember the fallen. We support the troops too. You heard what he said, and you saw what he did. What did he say?
We support the troops too.
We support. What did he do?
Stood in front of you.
How can an anti-war protester say with his words that he supports the troops, but what he does is absolute opposite of that, suppressing my freedom of speech? And the anti-war protesters, if you ever notice something about them, they're very keen on the First Amendment. But he is not, this particular anti-war protester was not keen on respecting my First Amendment rights. You're not really supporting the troops if you were disrespecting this troop. You've all heard the expression, action speaks louder than words. Let your actions today be a testament that shows how well you appreciate the sacrifice of our troops. If you really want today to stand for something more than just words, send a care package. There is nothing to stop you from visiting a soldier, a Marine, an airman, or Coast Guardsman in a VA hospital. There's nothing to stop you from putting flowers at the grave of a fallen soldier. Remember the survivors of the fallen and do something about it to show that the power and the conviction of your spirit in recognition of this occasion means something. Thank you.
Days are getting easier, so much to